More than 200 Indian Americans gathered in Virginia to celebrate America's 250th anniversary with community leaders and families. The celebration featured a 250-pound cake honoring America's anniversary and the opportunities it has offered immigrants. Former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe joined Representatives Suhas Subramaniam and Sri Thanedar for the community celebrations in Tyson Corner together. IMBIG organized the event to celebrate America's history while recognizing the contributions of Indian American entrepreneurs and community leaders nationwide. IMBIG co-founder Ravi Puli described the celebration as a heartfelt expression of gratitude towards the country that transformed his life. Puli recalled arriving in America in 1997 before building a successful entrepreneurial journey through opportunity, determination, and perseverance together. Congressman Sri Thanedar shared his journey from Karnataka to Congress, highlighting perseverance through hardship and the promise of the American dream. Thanedar recalled overcoming repeated visa rejections before building successful businesses and eventually serving in the United States Congress proudly. Speakers encouraged Indian American entrepreneurs to create opportunities, mentor future generations, and strengthen their communities through leadership and service. Young participants joined leadership discussions exploring entrepreneurship, technology, public service, and the future of the Indian American community together. Patriotic performances and a community sing-along celebrated America's history while reflecting the dual identity of immigrant families across generations nationwide. Organizers said the celebration honored both America's founding ideals and the immigrant journeys that continue shaping the nation's future today.
Organization which only don't promote one side or other, and most of you know I'm on the right side of it. But Sri Thanedar, you heard him, you heard his story. So, and being a Indian American, he's the one who is always there to help. He said it. I can tell you that I can watch it. Send a lot of people when they need some help. Here, even small thing to have a White House trip, and he just said that I will take care of it and many other issues. He's always there for Indian community. So my request, humble request to all of you, he has a difficult election, support him as much as you can. So thank you, and very inspiring.
I'm a serial entrepreneur, like many of you, and just very quickly, I grew up in Belgavi, Karnataka. I had 6 sisters, a brother. My father lost his job when I was in college. And you know, in Indian culture, you take care of your family when the father cannot provide for the family, right? And so I took care of my family. I worked as a janitor when I was going to college, so my mother can feed our entire family. And then I got admission into a PhD program at University of Akron in chemistry. All I needed to do was get a student visa, F1 student visa. In those days, you had to go to preach Grandy at the American consulate, right? And you had to go, no appointments those days. So you go in the morning at 5 o'clock, stand in line outside at Marine Drive. I'm seeing some head shaking here. So you've seen that. So I'm standing in line till 11 o'clock, my number get called. And so I go into the consulate, no sitting down on an interview. You stand in front of a window, and my counselor, her name was Virginia. So Virginia is standing behind the window. I studied in Marathi medium. I didn't speak much English then. And Virginia was asking me all kinds of questions, and I answered as best as I could. And after about 10 minutes, she pushed my papers through the window, and she says, "Mr. Thanedar, I cannot give you a student visa." And all my dreams came crashing down. That was my opportunity to lift my family out of poverty. Not only my dreams came crashing down, I fell to the ground. I lost consciousness. I don't know how long I was down, but when I opened my eyes, Miss Virginia had come out of her window with a glass of water, but no visa. Then I went back and gave more documents second time, and she promptly rejected my visa for the second time. Then on third time I gave her more papers and she still rejected my visa. The fourth time I got a letter from my professor saying that I need this guy. He's going to do important work on electric batteries as the future of energy. So I thought that letter would do the trick, so I put the letter on the top and gave it to her, and she rejected my visa for the fourth time. Another 2 weeks went, and I had nothing new to give, so I took the same papers, nothing new, and resubmitted it. And they gave me my visa. So I said, why did Miss Virginia change her mind? And they said, oh, she's gone to America for her vacation. Today, as a member of Congress representing Michigan's 13th Congressional District, I am the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee, and soon as we flip the Congress to Democrats, I would get the gavel as the chairmanship of the Homeland Committee. And my committee's task, keeping our borders safe and making sure who comes in and who does not come into the United States. What a great country this is. What a great country. I'm just so proud to celebrate America's 25th anniversary, 25th birthday. And I'm so glad you're all here doing that. And so after coming to US, I worked on my PhD in chemistry, and they would only pay us for 9 months. You know, I was a teaching assistant. Anybody knows what that is? Yeah. So you study for your PhD program, you're a teaching assistant, so you go teach the kids in the lab, you know, undergraduates. But the problem there was that the lab was only be there for 9 months. In summer there are no labs. So they would not, you know, they would give me $300 a month to teach the labs, and I would take $75 and send it home so my mother can feed the family. And then in summer there is no lab, so there is no assistantship, no scholarship. And then I'll let go of my apartment and I will sleep in my car or sleep in the building. So one day there was a seminar room in the building, so I would sleep in that building. I had my sleeping bag. And one day I was working very late in the lab, you know, doing experiments in the lab. Working very late, so I slept late, and I got up. I couldn't get up every day. And the dean of the School of Science came in the morning for his seminar with his friends and colleagues, and he saw me sleeping on the floor. And I thought, they're going to send me out of the college, you know, they're going to throw me out. The dean didn't say anything. I was very embarrassed. And a couple of years later, I got an award from the dean, Outstanding Teaching Assistant. So when I was had my PhD, and when he was giving me the award, he says, Shri is so hardworking, he sometimes is known to sleep in the lab. So after that, I started a little pharmaceutical company that became very successful. Bought small companies that had difficulty running, making profits. I turned those around and built a big network of pharmaceutical service businesses all across US. And then came 2010. Do I have another 2 minutes? All right. So then came 2010. Anybody remember the recession of 2010? And my business half of my business, I had an offer from a big private equity from Boston. And they offered me $135 million to buy half of my business. And so I signed that letter of intent. And that was just a week before Lehman Brothers collapsed. And the private equity could not get their funding, and they ended up not completing the deal. So I said, fine, I will wait. And I had borrowed about $24 million from Bank of America to buy all these companies that I bought. But I had made an enterprise worth almost $200 million, so I thought that was not bad, right? And then the recession came and the bank got impatient, and I told the bank, give me some time, I will turn this business around. But the bank got impatient and they took all of my assets. They took all of my assets, and I had to leave the headquarters that I built for the last time. They gave me a box and they said, Mr. Thanedar, put all your personal stuff in the box and you can leave now. So I was walking out of my headquarters and I saw 2 trophies I had won. Entrepreneur of the Year awards from Ernst & Young. Very prestigious awards, right? Twice that I had won. So I asked the bank if I can take those, and while I was leaving, and I was walking out, they said, fine, take it. And I said, as I put those 2 trophies in my box, I said, I'm going to win another one of these someday. Another one of these someday. Walk out, get home, and my wife, Shashi, and I, and she's the one who said, when I came and told her that the bank has taken everything and we have nothing left, she said, I grew up poor, you grew up poor, we are where we are here today, we can make it again. That's what my wife told me. So I put these trophies in my box, I'm leaving, I come home and they found out that the home that we built, huge big home that I had designed myself and built, whatever, 16,000, 18,000 square foot home. The bank is going to foreclose on that next week. They took my cars, they foreclosed on my home, and in 2010, September of 2010, my wife Shashi and I took our clothes and our personal stuff, put it into a budget rental truck, and drove all the way from St. Louis, Missouri to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Because we heard and we saw on the internet there's a little lab in Ann Arbor, Michigan that had gone out of business. And so I go there, rent that lab space, and restart my business in 2010. And now I knew what not to do, There's a reason why my business failed, because we had focused so much on early stage drug development. When you do early stage drug development, when economy is bad, in the recession, you don't, nobody wants to invest in early stage drug development. And that's why the business failed. So this time I diversified my offerings so that the business would never fail in a recession. And so I started the business and it started growing. And in 2016, 6 years, the business has grown significantly. And one day I got a call that I won the Entrepreneur of the Year award from Ernst & Young for the first time. And Shashi and I go to receive the award. And she says, what next? And I said, well, look, we achieved our American dream. But here in Detroit, 30% of the people live below poverty. We gotta go help them. We gotta help them achieve their American dream. So we sold our business to a private equity. This time the transaction went through fine. And and we said we're going to go public service. And I said, if I want to go in public service, I'm going to run for governor, which I did. Ran for governor, and I was on the top of the polling, and everybody got worried that this Michigan has never elected a woman, never elected a person of color as their governor. It's always been white men until last time we elected a woman. So people were a little worried that this guy's going to be our governor. And so I got attacked and I lost that election. But still, 200,000 people voted for me to be their governor. So at this stage, one more minute. So at this stage, I said, we are not going to go back to running a business. We've done that, been there, done that. So I ran for a state representative in Michigan. This was a 90% African American district, and I won that. So I became a state rep in Michigan, spent 2 years, brought a lot of money to the district for education, for healthcare, built hospitals, brought money to rebuild schools. There's just so much we did in 2 years. And in 2022, when the congressional seat opened up, I decided to run for that, got elected, and then again got elected in 24. And in 2.5 weeks, I have another election coming up for my third term. And this is going to be the hardest election. Because I don't know if you know, but there is a wave of DSA supported candidates across America. And so many veteran members of Congress have lost their seat. So it's a very, very close election. And I have that election in 2.5 weeks. So I got with that. So I didn't really, it was a busy time right now. There's so much going on. But Anil ji said, Ravi ji said to come here. So I said, I'm going to stop by. तो यहाँ आके आप सबको मिलके बहुत खुशी हुई और मैं आपको my wife speaks much better Hindi than I am. I speak Marathi, I speak Kannada. Bola. All right, so thank you all for so much. Thanks for your hospitality. Thanks for your invitation. And I wish you all very, very best. If there's anything I can help for you, reach out to me, tanedar.house.gov. We help people all over. People find me when they have a visa issue. People find me when there is anything that they need. And I don't even ask who their congressperson is. My office just helps them. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Thank you all.